Hey there. Welcome to Sunday nights, Solution Sundays. Sorry about the unusual light. Looks like we have one that just blew out over here, so I will add some from this direction. I'm standing in a different place because tonight we are taking up a topic suggested by two people in my Pampered Chef group, Chelsea and Jenny. I want to thank Michelle and Chelsea and Jenny for adding some ideas on what we can talk about on Solution Sundays. We're going to get to Michelle's question next Sunday, but tonight we had 2 votes for this particular product, so I thought I would tackle it since this seemed to be a hot item with some questions. And that is steaming, using our micro cooker set, using the microwave to steam vegetables and do other things. And so I am Robin Lang, and I want to thank you for joining me. I know several of you will be watching this on the replay, your friendly Pampered Chef consultant. If this is at the end of the evening something you want more information on, if I'm not clear, micro cookers are awesome, but because of my work schedule, I know I should be using them more because I do have really long hours. But they are a new thing for me just in this last year, and so I've slowly started using them. But most of the time I use them for just the basic stuff. I don't tend to be adventurous with them. And so I want to thank Chelsea and Jenny both for asking the question about the micro cookers so that I could do some research and come up with some new things to talk about. First, I want to show you, I don't know if any of you have our micro cooker that has this lid on it. This is the lid to our retired micro cookers. We had, I knew I forgot something. We had done this, we had these for quite a while. And last September, just September, they released an updated version of the micro cookers. And hang on just one second, I'm going to share this with my other group page so you guys can see it, if I can find it. Let's see, is it there? Well, I think I'm going to skip that part tonight. So what they did is, you can see that there's holes. So in addition to steaming the vegetables, you can use these as a strainer. They came out with an easier to use lid and another feature that is awesome. This is our new micro cooker set. And the first thing you're going to notice is that they stack together really nicely, even the lids. And I'm not, look at that. You can actually stack them together, snap them together, one on top of the other. We have our 1 quart, fun little 1 quart. We have 2 quarts. This is 8 cups for 2 quarts. I don't know, my math is not great. I probably should have known that. And then our 3-cup micro cooker, which is similar to our previously called rice cooker. It does exactly the same thing, but they are all called micro cookers now. And the fun part is, not only do they nest together, oops, this is going to be a short one tonight. I just got a little battery. Not only do they nest together, the lids also snap together. So you'll see, it's a little hard, hopefully that shows up. You can see there's ridges on the inside and on the top, so no matter how you stack them, and then you just snap it. It does work. I'm just trying to rush. There we go. So you snap them together. The 3 quart also comes with this extra piece, which helps to keep things from boiling over. They all have a little bit of a ridge to kind of help with the water that leaks up, go back down inside. And there are 2 different sized holes to help with the drainage, so that depending on if you have some small things or large things, and just you can, whichever one makes the liquid come out quicker. So I'm going to demonstrate just really quickly, if I can, our I'm going to try it with a bell pepper. Chop up the bell pepper. Let's see, where is my handy, wrong knife. Oh, here it is. Here we go. So I'm going to grab a bell pepper and I'm going to peel this off. Sorry, I apologize if you can't hear me too well. I turned my head away. So, as I mentioned last week, there are a couple of easy ways to do your bell peppers. One of them is to follow the ribs, and when you cut them like this, then you can just toss all of this right into your recycling without too much stress. So I'm going to take the last of this one off. And one of the things that I was planning on doing was looking up recipes for the micro cooker and see what they said, only because as you'll find out next week when we are talking about the quick cooker, let's see if there's recipes on here. Related recipes. Well, there's a Sloppy Joe skillet with polenta and a sweet potato black bean enchilada. I actually made that. That's really good. But that you use the rock crock for as well. So you're using more than one product on that one. But you're going to put your products into this quick cooker, a little bit of water, and we'll see. Now you can use the quick slice for this. I'm trying to hurry, so I'm going to kind of just give it a quick chop. Our coated utility knife to the rescue again. One of the things I noticed when I was reading about this is that they have some really good instructions. They always, Pampered Chef does some great use and care papers that come with all of our products. And so I was just going to tell you a little bit about what this one says. These are dishwasher safe as long as you keep them away from the element. I don't know, some of the newer ones, we got a new dishwasher about 3 years ago, and they don't have the heating element at the bottom. I tend to try to put these on the top rack anyway, just to kind of keep it that way. I find that I have better luck getting it clean if I just wash it by hand, because it's really easy to clean, and then I don't have to worry if anything has been left on there that it's going to still be on there. I don't know, it depends on your dishwasher and your comfort level. Just a reminder, the fun part about these, I'm going to unsnap them again. So I'm going to take the lid, is that you offset it a little bit. It's a little hard to see. Offset it a little bit. And there are some grooves. And once you can kind of see on the side here, there is a little indentation. Just make sure that your lid fits over those. Sorry, can't do it standing. I can't do it in midair. I am not a circus performer, so I can't do it that way. Anyway, once you've got it so that the tabs on the lid are down over the edge of the little indentations that I was telling you about, then you just twist, and you're going to go in a clockwise motion to lock it in place, and you can hear it snapped, and the little tabs that you see right here are actually going to go inside. There's a tab indentation right there on that. So you're going to do that. We are probably going to need a little bit of liquid just for steam purposes. I don't want to get too much in there. You can use whatever you normally use, and you twist and you snap it in. I'm just going to put it in for, it's not very many, so I'm just going to hit maybe 1 minute. So while that's steaming away in there, and I'll be listening as well just to make sure. One of the things that reminds you of is to always lift all lids away from you when there's hot things in them, so the steam is not coming right at your face. And make sure that you lock the lid when you're cooking foods that splatter. If it's something you don't think so, you don't need to necessarily put the lid on lock. The lid can be used to strain things. You can cook pasta in these. You can reheat in these a little bit. The one thing they do tell you is they keep mentioning melting butter. And so it would kind of depend. I know that some of the boxed rice things come with instructions for microwave cooking, and they tell you to put butter in with some of the rice and cook it for a little bit until it becomes golden, and then put the rest of it in. One of the things that it warns you about is leaving the butter in too long, because you don't want it completely melted, otherwise it will burn. They want you to put the butter in until it's almost melted, and then just let the heat of the steam finish it off for you. So it does give you those instructions in here. It says about a half a cup of butter melts in 40 to 45 seconds on high. So you really have to keep your eye on it. And to keep checking foods that are high in fat on a regular basis, because they will burn if you don't. It's just like anything else, when you put, it's like chocolate. You put chocolate in there, you're going to want to stir it every 15 to 30 seconds just to make sure that it's not burning, and you're going to want to stop it right when it gets to the right spot. So you just want to check it on a pretty regular basis. The one big thing it says is don't brown rice, not to cook. They're not saying don't cook brown rice. I had to read that twice because my brain automatically went there. It's not saying not to cook brown rice in it. It's saying don't use this to brown rice beforehand. So if it calls for glass when you're cooking the rice or cooking pasta or anything, if your recipe says put it in a glass bowl, put it in a glass bowl. It says in these instructions, don't use this if it specifically asks for a glass bowl. So just to make sure that you've checked these. There is a 1-year guarantee on the for non-commercial use, so that would be me, non-commercial here. So there is a 1-year guarantee on the micro cookers. Let's see how our bell pepper turned out. 1 minute on high. Wow. Let's see. I could probably go a little bit more. They're still kind of firm. Let's see, I have people. Hey, Jenny, how are you doing? I see you there. You're sure. So, thank you, Jenny. She's joined us. She and Chelsea and Michelle are going to be getting a mystery gift from me in the mail in the next week. So thank you for your suggestions. I had posted that the first 5 people who gave suggestions would get a mystery gift from me. So I've given away 3 so far. There's still time to catch those last 2 mystery gifts. I think we could probably put this in for just a little bit more. It really depends on your own preference on what you like, how firm you want your veggies. If you want them super mushy, not my style. So I'm maybe not going to go a full minute. I'll probably just go 30 seconds, and then we will see how that looks. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the 3-quart. As I mentioned, it is just like our former rice cooker, and this is the one they recommend you making rice in. I'm going to second that motion. What is that? Second that emotion. The other day I was in a hurry and I grabbed the 2-quart because I wasn't making very much rice. And while it worked, there was a lot of water bubbling over, and it ended up kind of going down the side of the quick cooker. And with the 3-quart, it comes with this extra insert to help prevent that boil over. So highly recommend, if you're going to do rice, use the appropriate tools. Use me as the example of how not to do it. Use the 3-quart for your rice. I think even if it's a small amount, because I really didn't cook very much, but it was just enough between the heat and the liquid that was in there. Bubbles coming out everywhere, and I had to clean out. Didn't have to really clean a lot, but just had to wipe up the inside of the microwave. The lid for this is the only one that goes on differently. The other 2 sizes do the twist that I showed. This one, this snaps into the bottom. You fit these into the little grooves. you can see a little bit of the end. You see how that has like a different kind of tab on the end. And then this itself has a little teeny ridge right in the edge here that you're going to fit. There's a little lip on this that's hard to see, but you're going to fit this lip right in there and put these down. And then you flip up these little locks. That's also going to help with keeping the steam in when you're doing the rice and helping to make sure everything stays in there, and that with any kind of pressure that builds up, they don't pop off. So this one has that kind of a process. Let's take a look and see how our 30 seconds did. Oh, perfect. Perfect. So that was like a minute and a half on high in our 2-quart micro cooker. I just did vegetables. We were talking about steaming vegetables. Like I mentioned, you can do pasta in here. I would scan through the Pampered Chef recipes and you will be able to find a ton of things to help you out. The rice cooker is amazing for rice. It really does work well. I have put in jasmine rice. I've used basmati rice. I used minute rice. I did brown minute rice. I did the brown rice. There's a microwave instruction on there because brown rice takes a little bit longer to cook. But doing it in this, it still is a similar time frame to if you're doing it on the stovetop, but you're not waiting for the water to come to a boil and then adding it in, because with the brown rice, you have to cook it a little longer. So what you do is you put the rice in the water into our 3-quart rice cooker. There you go, non-commercial use. Putting the rice in the water into the 3-quart cooker, and then you put it into the microwave, and I think it was like 7 minutes. When you finish with the 7 minutes of cooking, it tells you, I think you don't even cook it on high. I think you even use 50% power. Then you still let it sit for 5 minutes, but it's cooking in the microwave and it's just sitting. You don't have to do anything to it until it's all done. Then you stir it up and you eat it. It came out perfectly. I didn't have any issues with it. So even the minute rice works well. Like I said, about a minute and a half with the bell peppers. Vegetables don't take a lot. You can throw in seasonings. You can probably use a vegetable broth if you're instead of water. Change it up. Do whatever you like. One last thing, not related to the quick cooker at all, but this is something that I've been noticing. They've been talking a lot about. They've banned straws in various ways throughout the state of California, and they're kind of working toward going green in lots of other places. Pampered Chef saw this coming across the country, and in August, I believe, they put out these metal straws. I take one with me everywhere. We have a handful of them here. I gave a set to everybody in my family for Christmas. They use them at their own discretion, but my husband and I really like using them. I keep one in my backpack, or I keep one at work, have a few here. So when I go out somewhere, if I get a drink, I don't take the straw. I just put this in. There are 2 for $6.50. This is what I thought was a really good deal. You get this little bag, 2 metal straws, and the cleaning brush. The cleaning brush. I don't know about you, but I had one of those reusable plastic ones with the plastic straw in it, and it drove me completely crazy because after a while you can clean and clean and clean and everything else looks great, but the inside of the straw slowly starts to develop. And I drink a lot of iced tea, so it was tea stains, and it was like there's nothing. You're in there with like a toothpick, kind of trying to get a Q-tip in there, and nothing's working really well. So I went to the store, and I did happen to find one. I can't remember what store I was at, but I did find a straw cleaner. It was actually for something else, but it also would work on your straws, and it was great. But I was so appreciative of Pampered Chef thinking ahead on this. And the one I got, the little brush, was only about this far. It was very small. So this one is nice and long. This is at least 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. So you can really get your straws clean. They do fit down inside. Mostly you're probably going to be cleaning from the bottom and pushing it in there. You're probably not going to be, the middle part is usually not too bad. But I can't tell you how much I appreciated the fact that they provided a brush. So that was pretty cool. I am terrible. I don't want to kind of keep going up and sneaking a peek at my camera here trying to read what everybody says. But if you post your questions, I'll go back and read the comments that everybody's put in, and I will, if you have any questions, I'll look up a couple of recipes to post. I'll make a note of how long it took me to cook these bell peppers, and put all of that in comments when I'm finished here. And I want to thank you again for joining me for Solution Sunday. Check back here next week, 8:30, and we're going to tackle Michelle's question about Pampered Chef's electric pressure cooker, the quick cooker. We're going to figure out what we can do with that to help make your life in the kitchen easier. Thanks again for joining me, and be sure and let me know if there's anything that I can help you with in the kitchen for our solutions. Okay? Thanks.